he's going to find himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So Nuoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. Doesn't qualify as well as he races. Only
Up front, they are getting a weird, but Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haight deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
But I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and approach he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Oh, Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Barani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Bill Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. Oh, look at the Tyson. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry. Good evening and welcome back once more to Season 2 here of the UK SimRacers live on the JPB YouTube channel with myself, James Parfitt, and Mr. Zach Sweeney, who will be here once again for this season, enjoying this absolute epic series that we have for you on a Tuesday. 4 15-minute heats, top 18 reverse for Heat 2, a 15-minute qualifying, and after last season, you are in for an absolute treat. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to waste any time. Going to bring Mr. Sweeney into the booth. Good evening, dear sir. How are you?
I'm good, James, and I'm reared up. We've had a week off from the UK SimRacers, and, well, I'm looking forward to kickstarting another 12-week season because last season was one to remember. So, yeah, let's bring on Season 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be an absolutely incredible season. We've got some new drivers, well, not new drivers, some returning old drivers, should we say. Roger Morton is back in the series. Pete Newman is also here. Dale Benison has also come back in for the series as well. So let's see how this one works out, and opening up with this great racetrack that is Motorsport. Well, Zach, what do we think? Motorsport's an incredible circuit.
It is. It's fun, it's fast, it's flowing, and I think it is going to be quite good in these GTs. They're good in GTs. They're good in MX5s as well, funnily enough, because that's what we're racing here today. Yeah, it's... I'll be honest, I'm not really too sure as to where we're going to get any major overtaking unless you go down towards the sort of the double right-hander at Moss, sort of 2/3 of the way or about halfway around the track. That's really where we're mainly going to see the heavy braking zones for these MX5s. But with how fast this circuit is, I think slipstream is going to be vitally important, and therefore is going to keep everyone nice and tucked up together. I mean, we can see these practice times are incredibly close. So I think the competitiveness is there. It's just going to be a case of picking and choosing when and where you go for moves, because it's a very fast and a very flowing circuit. So you're going to have to, you know, pick and choose quite wisely.
Yeah, I think they are going to have to here as well, with a very tight sections on this turn as well. We're down in Moss Corner in turn 5, the double right-hander. The last thing you want to be doing is running up there in through basically the uphill section. Too wide currently here as well, as we've got John Sylvester on track. You can see what he's got to look for. You're downhill and you go sweeping left and uphill again there onto the brakes, and you've got to try and maintain this corner rotation to get all the way around in one swoop if you can. I think that's some of the things you don't want to kind of double move that corner. It kind of needs to be in one action to get around there cleanly, Zach, and I think a lot of people can struggle at that corner in multiple different cars, mind you. I've seen F3s go around there and spin, radicals spin, and it's not been a nice corner for anybody. So hopefully these MX5s might be handling that a little bit better.
Yeah, indeed so. I mean, the entire circuit in general, to be fair, is one of those ones that you just want to be smooth throughout, because smooth is definitely going to be the name of the game here. Taking one go at the steering wheel, not turning, thinking, you know what, it's a bit too early, turning back out again, turning back in again, seesawing at the wheel. That's not going to help anyone. You want to take one go at each corner, commit to it, and keep the momentum up, keep the revs up, keep the car moving, essentially, like in rental go-karting or whatever. As soon as you disrupt that momentum, as soon as you drop the RPM, as soon as you slow down too much, it takes a while to regain that momentum. And at a circuit as fast and flowing as Motorsport, particularly in these MX5s, it's going to be one that you just want to keep going at, keep chipping away at, and get into a nice rhythm. Particularly at Moss Corner, though, as well. You're right in saying, in these MX5s, I think it is going to be nice enough that you can just keep turning the wheel right, not having to straighten up and then turn again, keep the wheel right, power through it, and then hit a nice double apex. Probably hit the first one going deep, cut back in again, and get a nice straight run, because it's probably the most important corner in terms of getting a good exit, because of the straight that just comes after it a little bit, the Mario Andretti straightaway to sort of go into the final couple of corners. So it is just all about getting your foot down as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's one of the things we will be looking out for here as well. Hopefully they will be sensible going through Moss Corner, because it is a very difficult corner to get right. Arnold Chagnon is back here once again from Air Smart Racing as well. What we can do is bring you up the final finishing positions of last season. So this was the final pro standing positions after the season. Daniel Hunt out in front with Tom Griffith, John Sylvester, Jamie Ayres, Pete Van Gool, and even Bramer round out the top 6 in the pros. In the AMs, of course, it was Arnold Chagnon, Darrell Wright, Andy Littler, Steve Hansford, Alan Toon were your top 5. Now in the team standings here, we got Momo and NSOB on 5.044. Momo come out in front in the end over 5.126. There has been a name change of PRT. They are now SOB, which is obviously Sylvester Owens and Bramer Racing. They're on track currently at the moment. We are coming to the end of this, but they will be going into qualifying very shortly. 15 minutes of open qualifying here, Zach. Would you wait until the end, or would you think come out first?
I'd get out first, personally anyway. I think that you just want to get out and you want to make the most of your track time, because you want to get the season off well. You don't want to be sat there in the pit lane saying, okay, well, now if I go out, I can maybe fit in 3 laps. No, you just got to get out, get into rhythm and go. At a circuit like Motorsport, particularly, as we said, with the rhythm and things, it aids well to do your best lap off the back of an already decently quick lap, just so you're in the groove, you're flowing through, you're not hesitant, you know where you're turning, you know where you're braking, you know where you're putting the power down. It just helps that little bit better. And if you get out first, you get the most amount of track time possible, which is vital when it comes to a qualifying session. Get as many lap times as you can, and that alleviates a lot of the pressure off of each of those laps, because you're not having to think, okay, well, if I leave now, and then I might be able to squeeze in 3 laps, 1 lap has to be my banker, 1 lap has to be a slightly quicker one lap has to be my give it all. If you go out first, you get as many laps as you can fit in. Just go out there, do a few, and think, okay, well, I've already got a decent time in, let's just push the limits and see what we can do. So yeah, I think Daniel Hunt, who's managed to sort of leave the pit lane towards the front end of the pack, is going to be in a nice position. However, with that, you don't want to be out at the front by yourself. It might aid well to sort of have a bit of a friend to go out there with as well. Be in the slipstream. But again, it's all about balancing that. It's something that we saw at Daytona last year. I think it is going to be a similar situation to that, in the sense that you're going to need the slipstream, but you don't want someone that's too much slower than you in front, as to risk hampering you through the fast and flowy stuff.
Yeah, I think they're going to be trying to look and overtake this last section here through 8, 9 and 10. It is very flow, and you have to be in the flow to get that right. Otherwise it can all just get in, down. It can go completely wrong if you're very jiggery on the steering wheel and jerky and really having to work the car through that flowing section, when you need to be a little bit more like left, right, left, a bit more flowy. It's not going to work out, and I'm hoping that these drivers are all experienced. We've got 20 racing out on circuit at the moment as well, so there will be 20 cars on track here doing the business, so let's see how they all get on as well. Okay, so they've all had a rest. How do we think they've all going to come back? Are you still thinking Tom Griffiths, Daniel Hunt, the boys from SOB, boys from Momo battling it out at the front?
I don't think we're going to see anything too dissimilar from last season. I think that with the week break, there are 2 things that can happen. There are 2 sort of forks in the road. One road is the bad one, which is you've taken the week off, you've not kept yourself fresh, and you're coming back rusty. You're using round 1 as the test and practice session to get yourself back up to speed. That's the last thing you want. The other road is the road that I think a lot of these people are going to be able to utilise and go on. It is the road that you've just finished your 12 weeks, you have a few days off, you think, brilliant, this is the MX5's done and dusted, I can breathe, I can step away from the sim, or you can just go and do something else, race some Formula 3s or GTs or whatever tickles your fancy, step away from the MX5s, take a breather, come back a couple of days before the race, begin anew, get yourself back up to speed, and be ready to enjoy the season. Don't see this season as a chore, which I'm sure no one is, but don't see it as one of those things that you have to do, one of those things that's going to take a toll on you. See it as something you can come in, you can enjoy doing, you feel fresh for, you feel excited for, you feel passionate about, and they're going to be the ones that succeed quite well. So I think that it depends how well you've used the week off, but I don't think we're going to see any major surprises of people, from the back all the way shooting up to the front, or the front all the way down to the back. I think it is going to be a slightly steady continuation from season 1, but that continuation, I mean, I'm not complaining if we can continue on what we had in season 1.
Yeah, it was an absolutely epic season as well, and you should go back, if you haven't watched any of this season, go back and have a look at it. They are all on the JPB YouTube channel here as well. As we've got times coming in, Roger Morton does a 1:35.7, is still down in 13th at the moment. Daniel Lewis is another one, new one into the session here as well. And there is Dan racing for Oven Blossom Racing. Nice. Not heard of that team before. But there we go.
Yeah. Interesting team name. Love it. Awesome. Yeah, teams. I think team names are quite funny. I mean, they're sort of not something, you know, that overly is sort of takes precedence a lot of the time, but is always one of those nice things to sort of think about. I remember one in one of the iRacing special events that was literally a team name that was, why does iRacing have absurd amounts of team name character limit or something like that? I don't know, just adds character. It's something to look at, and it's a nice touch. And the rebrand as well from Platinum Racing Team to SOB Racing as well. So, I don't know, it's just an interesting one. It's a good thing to keep things fresh, I suppose. But in qualifying session, what's most important is not what you call, it's how you can drive. And Steve Hefford leads the way in qualifying. So already a good launch for the Momo team. I mean, we got PVG's up there in 4th place as well. So not bad for the returning veterans.
Yeah, definitely as well. With Steve Hefford, Dan Hunt, John Sylvester, Pete VG, Tom Griffiths, Ewan Brayman, Miles Owens, Darren McLean rounding out the top 8, all out by pros. There's Zach, and then we've got the AMS. It looks like Arnaud Chagnon is just basically carrying on where he left off last season, taking the lead in the AMS. He's got 1:33.65. Andy Littler's on a 1:33.71 currently here as well at the moment. But it looks like basically Arnaud Chagnon is doing a business. He did really well last season, and I think that was the thing there for Chagnon overall, that he did an absolute stellar job from Air Smart Racing. He is backed up at the moment by Jason Haddington here as well. So maybe these two may be able to make a difference in that AM Championship. But we've got Tom Griffiths on a full purple sectors at the moment, Sector 1 and Sector 2. Let's hope that he can use Jamie Ayres to pull some time in. Down the start-finish straight he goes. What is he going to do as he comes across the line currently at the moment? He's got into, second, 1:32.065. Ayres on a 1:32.057.
Wow, that is insane. Beautiful stuff from both of them. Fantastic laps, it must be said. But, well, those are the differences that can make the difference in the end. Darrell Wright, Arnaud Chagnon jostling over first place in the AMS as well. Chagnon is still able to hold on by about 0.4 of a second. It must be said, the difference between pole in the AMS and pole in the pros is about 0.9 of a second, which I am quite surprised about, if I'm honest. I mean, obviously there's pros and there's AMS, and you'd expect there to be some disparity. But based off last season, Arnaud Chagnon and Darrell Wright were both able to really, you know, keep it fresh and give the pros a good run for their money, particularly in sort of the reverse grid racing things. 0.9 of a second, I'll be honest, I'm quite surprised that the gap is that big.
No, I am as well, but I never say never. I think Chagnon, if we were looking at the overalls, he's still ahead of Darren McLean in the pros. Obviously, Pete Newman has just gone into the pits. I'm not expecting, obviously, Arnaud Chagnon to stay ahead of Pete. Pete is exceptionally quick, as we know, anyway, and is back the beginning of this season here. This is going to be an interesting one for Pete, and see what he's going to do. I'm not sure if he's going to sit at the back again, as he's already missed the season, or what the situation will be. Dan Hunter's got some greens here improving. I still think the AMS and the way the reverse grid works, I think they can still mix it up. I think they can still get involved and take victories. I've just got this funny feeling about them that they will do an absolute stellar job.
I would be inclined to agree. I think a couple of circuits this season that we go to actually should lend itself quite well to sort of having the AMS mix up with things. I mean, Motorsport today is a decent circuit for overtaking, so the reverse grid race, you'd expect the pros to come through the field. But when we go to sort of a circuit like maybe Long Beach, or maybe even Magny Cours potentially, that's maybe where we could see some of the AMS, if they benefit off the reverse grid race, be able to more hold their own. with the pros that win more, particularly in those reverse grid races. It is going to make it a little bit more tricky. They are going to have to be on it more and not limit their mistakes. But very similar, I think, to sort of Belle Isle last season, with one of those circuits that is quite tricky to overtake at. I think it is going to be a good sort of season ahead of us in terms of a nice diverse set of tracks. Some ones that obviously are fairly new to the service, like with Jerez and things. I'm looking forward to season 2. I think whoever at iRacing decided to chuck in the MX5 calendar has done a good job.
Yeah, that's unusual. Just saying, there are tracks that people do not necessarily like, but as you say, I don't think they've done too bad this season at all, to be honest, and I think one that we will be interested to see and go from there, because we've got Motorsport next week. We've got Okayama Fall, then Long Beach, Interlagos, favourite track, Suzuka, Snetterton 300, Jerez, Sebring, Watkins Glen, Magny-Cours, Mid-Ohio. That's going to be an interesting one. And then we round out the season at Spa there, Zach. All right, I would ask, is there any that you're looking forward to? But I've got a funny feeling I already know the answer to that.
I'm having a look. What's that one on the 18th of July? Round 6, Snetterton? That one? Yeah. I've never really heard of that circuit, but I think from what I've sort of heard from other people, I think it's actually going to be quite a good race. Yeah, I don't know.
You're so full of it, yeah.
I can count the amount of good races there's been on that all on one hand. And that's not because there's only been 5 good races there. It's because I'm from Norfolk and I've actually got a lot of fingers on one hand. And that's because I can count all of them. So I'm actually really looking forward to Snetterton. I think in these MX5s, it's a perfect circuit to take to, yeah.
Oh, dear me. Never mind. What's he said about people from Norfolk? Good evening as well to Mr. Adam Hedgecock, Bill across the pond, and Jamie Dengle there, Mr. Toxic Munchkin. Of course, and thank you so much for joining us. We are in the midst of qualifying. We're at that stage of qualifying where we very rarely see the times improving. I think that's the question, really.
Yeah, naturally, obviously, you're going to have that rapid progression. Sort of, if you sort of plot it out on a graph. This is how I like to visualize it because I'm a bit of a geek. But if you visualize it on a graph, you've got obviously time in session along the bottom of the graph, and then up the top you've got the lap time, or the lap time improvement. Now, very early on, you're just going to skyrocket up to a very good time, and then as you get towards the closer to your optimal, you're going to see very gradual improvements in your lap time, because to get towards your optimal, you're having to really refine the lap. You're having to nail each and every single corner, which as a human is very difficult to do. You can nail one, you're going to mess up the other. You're going to nail another, you're going to mess up another. It's all about that fine balance. So the closer you get to the optimal, the harder it is to actually find that little bit extra, because you're already so good. So at this point in the session, the track has improved quite substantially. The drivers have sort of gotten into a rhythm and reached that potential, if you will. So now it is just a case of refining. And it's this point in the session, actually, that really is the biggest test of skill. If you can find lap time now, then you are going to be doing yourselves a lot of favours, particularly in that fight for pole between JPBroadcasting and PVG. I mean, as it stands, they've, got 5 1,000ths of a second between them. Absolutely nothing. If PVG can find something in this final little bit to get closer to that optimum, he's going to be doing himself a lot of favours, and this is now the true test of qualifying.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be how these guys cope with this back end of qualifying. 2 minutes on the clock, and now would be the time, if they can, as you say, Zach, find it now. They can find it in general, and yeah, I do love a good MX5 season. I love 4 15-minute races. I think this will be a very exciting opening to this season's event. And I think as long as, and I'm going to put it down as a be careful section here. Now here, turn 1.
Oh, yeah.
Turn 2, 3 wide, grass, termination. That's all I see.
Yeah, no, that's not, yeah. If you don't see that,
it's such a difficult corner.
It really is. It's the whole sequence really. Sort of you go through turn one, quite a quick right-hander. It reminds me of turn one at Road Atlanta. It's quite similar in that vein. Then you go up over the brow into Clayton. Now you completely come back on yourself. You're battling downhill. The track isn't really cambered to your liking, and then also you've got to keep a high rate of speed up. We've just seen Tom Griffiths mess it up. Then you go into Quebec turn 3. Oh my word, that is the danger of it. If you do get it wrong, where once again you have to come back on yourself at a much tighter angle than you do at turn 2 as well. So yeah, it's fast, but round again, and then fast, and then round again as well. So we'll see what really happens to Tom Griffiths. He brakes really late as he's turning, about 90 degrees steering lock, putting the power down too quickly, and the car is just having absolutely none of it. So it really is a test of how efficiently you can get around a corner. And if you do get it wrong, you will get it really wrong. And if you can't see that, then I'd suggest you book an appointment for Specsavers.
What I want to look at is not the fact here, it's watch as he goes over this bump there. The car starts instantly going into the left, and then it starts coming back out because there's a sequence of bumps on that one. You've got that main one bump that if you get wrong can really throw you out here, but they've got to be careful. He comes out to the right. He's got to be looking at that late apex. I would probably go in a little bit more than Miles Owens did there as well. He was a little bit too far out for my liking. But let's talk through the grid first. We've got Jamie Ayres in first, Pete Van Gaal second, Tom Griffiths third, Daniel Hunt fourth, Steve Everett fifth, John Sylvester sixth, Ewa Bramer seventh, Miles Owens is in eighth, then Arnold Chagnon, Darrell Wright, Dan Lewis and Darrell McLean rounds out your top 12. Andy Littler, Roger Morton, Steve Hansford are your runs down to 15. Jason Addington, Mick Barry, Dale Benison, Sir Alan Toon and Pete Newman is your top 20. That I want to really, I think these guys are going to have to focus on that turn 1, turn 2, because I've done races here where that turn 1 will throw people out, and I've done races where turn 2 will also terminate you if you're on that outside line, right, and you end up running off onto the grass sack. I think that's one of the, if they can survive there, they should be able to survive the rest of the lap.
Indeed, so just get through, breathe, get into rhythm of things, and go from there. Reevaluate once you're in, because it is going to be carnage. It is going to be chaos. I'm looking forward to getting this season underway, and I'm going to get it in very quickly because we have already seen the grid. I'm going with Jamie Ayres to win.
Oh, yes. I forgot that. Right. Jamie Ayres out in front. I'm going to go with PVG. Here we go, the lights are on. We are going to be green here at Motorsport, and it is Ayres leading us away with PVG in second place currently at the moment. Tom Griffiths, Daniel Hunt, this is the fear. They're already too wide. Griffiths is going to let his car drift out. He didn't let it drift out all the way. Mick Barry manages to hang on as well, and then basically Pete Newman is already up. It's 5 places and in 15th, but now slipping through on the inside there of Mick Barry. Barry lets him through. Well, I've got to be honest, I was surprised that, but everybody through cleanly currently at the moment.
Yeah, I think everyone got the memo, which is don't be silly, don't be a tart and run into the side of each other. So yeah, basically that is probably going to be the general consensus. Settle into a nice rhythm in this race, get through lap 1, then reevaluate. It's a new season, it's a circuit that is going to be very, very treacherous, so why risk it? Why throw everything away in the opening laps? A good opening stage for Jamie Ayres as he tries to bridge the gap between himself and PVG and extend it as much as he can. Daniel Hunt has had a good start. The reigning season 1 champion comes into the second third of 2023 and is looking to impress. He's on the back of PVG, and now we've got a long time to be spent flat out. This is where the slipstream's going to count.
Yeah, Daniel Hunt is going to look at trying to go around the outside of PVG here. PVG's got to hang that inside line. Ayres has kind of gone out, and really, I'm not really sure what he did, but Hunt run round the outside of PVG. It almost looked like he blocked PVG in a way, because PVG had to run under the slipstream. And then Ayres made that indecisive move where he wasn't quite really sure which way he was going to go on circuit. And unfortunately, PVG did not pick it up and did end up losing that place to Daniel Hunt. So let's see how Hunt will get on here as he goes around turn 1 with Jamie Ayres and PVG. 1, 2, 3. Then we've got Griffiths, Hefford, Sylvester, Owens, Darrell Wright mixing it up as well. He's currently in first place over Arnold Chagnon down in the arms. He did jump him at the beginning. Darrell McLean is up 1. Pete Newman is up 8 places already. And we've still got 12.5 minutes left here, Zach. Pete's doing an absolute stellar job.
Yeah, indeed. So, I mean, that's what we saw towards the back end of last season. He's already looking to attack the next car. Darren McLean just in front, well, now just in behind him, actually. Pete Newman is absolutely flying. And it is awesome to see because, as I say, towards the back end of last season, wasn't really too interested in getting into the mix of things at the front. More was interested in starting at the back and seeing how far forward he could come. Up 9 places already in the initial moments. A fantastic start, but back to the front because Daniel Hunt already charging for the lead.
Yeah, it definitely is. Here he's on the right hand side, car 0746. Jamie Ayres tucked in behind that 39 of PVG. PVG needs to now use that massive amount of overspeed. He's got to clear Ayres as well. He cannot be running alongside him because you're going to have that same drama as we had the lap before that's possibly going to lose PVG a place. He's trying to slip up the inside. Hunt is on the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next one. Ayres lets him through. PVG is coming in behind him as well. Is PVG getting held up by Ayres here a little bit? It looks like Pete's almost got a little bit of the pace advantage over Ayres.
Ever so slightly. How much that's attributed to slipstream, though, I think is another thing entirely. We'll wait and see. Tom Griffiths actually is the one setting the pace. Then, obviously, no surprise, Pete Newman going a good 7 tenths quicker than Daniel Hunt on that last lap, which is incredible pace from Pete Newman. I mean, 5.8 KI rating. What more do you expect, really? He's already closed into the top 10 and is already knocking on the door of the 2 AM leaders of Darrell Wright and Arnaud Chagnon. So those two leaving off exactly where they left off, starting off exactly where they left off in the back end of season 1. You can see PVG still on the back of his teammate of Jamie Ayres. No way through for now, but they've got to be careful because the last thing these 2 Momo boys want is Daniel Hunt getting away. Jamie Ayres needs to stay in the slipstream.
Yeah, it definitely does, and I think it's going to be an interesting one when we have a look over the top end of Jamie Ayres. I actually want to catch up with over the top end of PVG here. I want to see how he's going to be able to make this move. He's the one in the prime position currently at the moment. He's got that 2 tenth gap. Ayres has not got 2 tenths. Here comes Pete. What are you going to be able to do? Are you going to be able to run him around the outside? You are going to have massive overspeed, sir. Pick a side. No, I wouldn't have done that. I've got to be honest, I think I would have gone for that. Pete just looks a little bit more comfortable in the car. Ayres is trying to go through on Hunt there. There is contact. Pete's going to try and come around the outside and pick it up. We have got cars alongside us currently at the moment as well. But it looks like Ayres has got through. Here's PVG going to run him down the outside of turn 1. He's got to tighten it up. Hunt's got to tighten up the inside line to give Pete the space. Pete didn't make advantage of that, Zach. And I've got this funny feeling he's just, he is looking quick and comfortable in this circuit. And I think once he can make his way to the front within the next 9 minutes, I think Pete Van Gogh has probably got an opportunity here as long as he doesn't start losing places to Steve Hefford as well.
Yeah, indeed. So Hefford looking to the outside. Fantastic move from Jamie, as it must be said, to dance his way through. You can see John Sylvester trying to get himself into the mix of this little battle as well, coming off the back of numerous wins over the course of season 1. Tom Griffiths, by the way, we did lose him in the carnage and melee of that little side-by-side moment as it continues on here with John Sylvester now trying to edge himself ahead. Hefford goes the Momo car. He's round PVG. He's brought Sylvester with him. Oh my word, you spoke too soon and PVG has found himself in the dust.
Yeah, PVG and John Sylvester, they're all gone a little bit wrong. For the Dutchman, of course, no more flying Dutchman there. And unfortunately for PVG, this is what happened. He looked like he almost got caught up with Sylvester there. Sylvester looks like he dived the inside. Never going to work. And then they just get hooked up and then they all end up coming back. And John Sylvester and Pete Van Gogh are down in 15th and 14th place, I would say respectively, but I don't think either of them drivers are going to be overly happy about being that far back. We did lose Griffiths, McLean, Toon and Barry are all in the pits at the moment. They all look like they may have made a little bit of mistake, and unfortunately for them they have now taken to the pit lane and are off. But it is Ayres and Hunt currently out in front of here. Dan, could you be off to a good start this evening?
Of course I can, Jamie Ayres is doing a fantastic job. I think it is going to be quite difficult with Daniel Hunt breathing down his neck. Side by side in the background, that's Miles Owens versus Pete Newman. Oh my word, that man is up to 4th place. How on earth is he that fast? That is ridiculous. His last lap was a 32.445. His best lap is a 32.410. He is going around Motorsport as if it's a Scale Electrics track on easy mode. He is flying. He is living life on 0% AI. I do not know what that man has taken for his breakfast, but yeah, I want some. Basically, that 118 machine up 16 places in less than half of the race. He's only 1.2 seconds off Steve Hefford, who himself is only 2 seconds off this lead fight. If Daniel Hunt and Jamie Ayres continue to fight, Pete Newman for the race win, anyone?
Possibly. There's no reason why he can't be. I think it's an opportunity. If he's got 7 minutes and he's making gains like an absolute trooper, 132.41 for Pete Newman last time out, 133.19 and 133.14 for these guys. He's pulling in near enough a second a lap. He's sitting currently about 3.5 seconds behind these guys, with the likes of Miles Owens in behind him currently as well. There's no real reason why he can't get there. I
would not doubt it. He's bringing Miles Owens and Darrell Wright with him. Darrell Wright, it must be said, is doing a brilliant job there in 6th place overall, leading the way in the AMs, which is good. Ewan Bramer sets the pace with a 32.1, which fair play to the Dutchman, trying to impress on sort of the SOB's debut. Obviously, they are just the Platinum Racing boys, but you know they've changed their name, so trying to impress and start the name off with a good start. Pete Newman, though, 4th place. What was the gap to Steve Hefford? 1.7 seconds. The last lap was a little bit slow. Obviously, he had to make a bit of an overtake. Side by side in the background, though, Miles Owens under pressure from Darrell Wright. That speaks volumes as to how good of a race that Darrell Wright is having. And we doubted the AMS. Oh my word, Miles Owens with a big slide. He's managed to keep hold of it. Here comes Darrell Wright, though, looking to get himself into the top 5 overall. Yeah, he's looking to push Miles Owens here. He's going to have that run up the straight as well for Darrell Wright. Is he going to be able to make it? He's pulled out early. He's pulled out very, very early there. So I would probably try and lift back in if you can. If you can hang that round the outside, that's going to be a brave man. Miles Owens is on the right-hand side. We are alongside. We're further alongside. Is he going to... No. And that kills the end of that. So Pete Van Gool now below 3 seconds with 5.5 seconds remaining. 5.5 minutes. 5.5 seconds. All right, James, you're getting old, mate. Yeah.
Oi.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, I'm going to move on before I lose my job, and hopefully in the next 5 seconds he'll forget about it because he's old. Daniel Hunt, Jamie Ayres, 3/4 of a second between the two of them. Steve Hefford actually is the one to break under 1 minute 32. He's into the 31.9s, which I think everyone is just going from strength to strength. With each lap that goes by is another lap in which they sort of learn something new about the circuit. They benefit off the slipstream. It's just with each lap that goes by, people are getting better, which I think by the time we get to race 4, we are going to have one monstrous race because everyone is going to be at their peak. Yeah, well, we're only in race 1 at the moment. We've still got a long way to go. But by the time we get to race 4, bring it on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting one here. There has been looking like a little bit of an unfortunate pile-up here. Dan Lewis may have got caught up. Did he make the mistake on his own? Yes.
A bit.
Yeah. I'm just wondering where Andy Littler come into this, because Littler may... Oh, okay, so Littler didn't do anything. I got a funny feeling he's going to run out on the outside of turn 2 here. Going to bounce and, yeah.
In a bit. That is a shame.
Bye-bye, Andy Littler. Right. Coming into the final stages, Sean Yunye sitting in 8th place here with his nemesis, Darrell Wright, sitting in 6th. Steve Hefford, Pete Newman as well is battling it out here. Hefford and Ayres, and Newman's just about to come over the hill. There he is, the blue and white Pure Sims, 3.5 minutes remaining. How is this going to work out? Is this one going to work out well? Are they going to be able to stay within Hunt? They need to not fight, really, don't they, over these last 3.5 minutes and really pull each other up to Daniel Hunt.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't fight at all. I mean, when it comes to teammates over the course of season 1, we saw that doesn't really matter too much. As Steve Hefford, you can see there, actually is going to force the initiative and find his way past his teammate of Jamie Ayres. He looks to the outside. It's not quite going to work on this occasion. This is the last thing they want. If they want any chance of the race win, stop now. Steve Hefford, push your teammate, get onto the back of Daniel Hunt before he gets far enough away. 1 second there or thereabouts, I'd say, is the healthy slipstream range in these MX5s. Daniel Hunt already 1.05 seconds clear. So Steve Hefford, Jamie Ayres, buck your ideas up, son, because if you fight, you've got Pete Newman for company, so one of you might not even finish on the podium, and you've both got the pace. Steve Hefford, you're the fastest man on circuit at the moment. Use it work with your teammate, and maybe fight for a race win. Why set off a second? I just don't see it. Try and stop Daniel Hunt before he gets too far ahead.
Yeah, definitely, fully agree. Darryl Wright has got he's got E1 Bramer now, and now also the attacking Arnold Chagnon is coming in behind him. He's going to be going left, and then also round the right hand at the final corner on track, which is White's corner here. Round they go. One more, and I think there's going to be one more here before we go on to the final lap of the race. It's been a very interesting race here. I think that earlier on incident possibly could have cost PVG the win. I think he was looking, from my eyes, and don't forget I wear glasses, I was looking that he could have possibly made that move round past Daniel Hunt earlier, which was put him in a better spot to have a go here, and I think he made that mistake by sitting behind Jamie Ayres. I think he could have got through and passed, but now for him he's got to go again as we're on the top 18 reverse, and that currently, if they stay as there are, is being taken by Darren McLean here. So from PVG's point of view, he's just got to come back again.
Pretty much, yeah. He's just got to fight and do his best. Again, he's been put into sort of an awkward situation here, but we had a similar situation at the start of last season with the Red Bull Ring. We were like, oh, Pete Van Gooley's washed, he's like an old retired boxer, this, that, and the other. Then he goes on to win 2 races in the same night. So don't count him out at all. And this is exactly now what we're sort of saying to Steve Heffert. He's actually pushing his teammate. And look, whoop-de-doo-dah, it's like it's a miracle. It's like it's a proven tactic. Work with people and you'll close the gap. Half of what it was. Now the gap to Daniel Hunt, there or thereabouts. I mean, it's chopping and changing ever so slightly, but it's definitely a lot better than it was with only a few minutes left to go. We are now on to the final lap of this race. They're going to have to be pushing like crazy to have any chance, as Pete Newman, oh my word, that man, give it 5 more minutes and hit a one as, oh no, Jamie Ayres is off.
Oh, Jamie Ayres there in turn 1. Still managing to hold on to that second place, but they have now got Newman right behind these two. I think Hefford played the gentleman there, and I don't think that was possibly the best move, because this man can take second away from them on that run down that long straight. They've got to be careful now, Zach. This is it, the final push here. Dan Hunt is out in front. Ayres second, Hefford third. Newman is coming, and he's coming quick in 4th place. He's going to have the 2 drafts as well, so he's going to be even massively overspec on top of these guys. And I think, well, if these guys manage to hold on to 2nd and 3rd, I would be very surprised.
Yeah, I would be as well. Pete Newman on your case is probably one of the last things you want to see, particularly into the dying moments of this race. Already he's trying to set up one of them. Steve Hefford acting as a rear gunner for Momo. This is Daniel Hunt's race to lose. The Pure Sims driver looks to the right-hand side of your screen. That's the left-hand side of the circuit, but the outside for the upcoming right-hander. A very fast right-hander at one at that. Who's going to be first to break? It is going to be Pete Newman, but he's going to carry that speed around the outside, use the agility of his Pure Sims car, keep his foot in. Now quickly swings the way to the inside. Dan Hunt with only a couple of corners to go.
Yeah, Hunt's going to come across the line and take this victory. It is going to be Jamie Ayres, Steve Hefford, Pete Newman. But boy, oh boy, were they close going around that final corner. And in the arms, it is going to be Darryl Wright and Arnold Chagnon left off, started again from where they left off after last season, taking the opening podiums here as well. And Roger Morton battles his way back into 3rd in the AM class. And yeah, well, not a bad opener here, Dak. And well, if that's what we've got to look forward to this season, bring it on.
Yes, please. Yeah, pretty much. Just yes, please. I've asked nicely, so let's deliver. You wouldn't want to let me down because I'm a sweet, innocent child, and you'd really upset me. So bring it on. Each and every single race that we've got, the next 47 of them, 4 times 12, quick maths, or the rest of the 47 races that we've got over the course of the next 3 months or so. I cannot wait. Here's Heat 1.
So here are the results from Heat 1. Daniel Hunt in 1st, Jamie Ayres is in 2nd, Steve Hefford 3rd, Pete Newman 4th, Miles Owens 5th, E1 Bramer is in 6th, Darryl Wright leading the AMs in 7th with Arnold Chagnon right behind him 8th, John Sylvester 9th, Roger Morton 10th, Jason Haddington and Pete Van Gool were the last of the lead lap finishers. Beyond that, we got Jason Haddington, beyond that, we got Daniel Lewis, Andy Littler, Dale Benison, Steve Hansford, Sir Alan Toon, Tom Griffiths, And then you've got Mick Barry and Darren McLean down at the bottom end of the field there as well, where we go in to what is now customary couple of minute warm-up here as well. We're into a 5-minute warm-up. Right, top 18 reverse. Who are you going for? After it's still
Pete Newman.
Still 0-0.
Pete Newman. Just saying, yeah. There we go. I don't know what can stop him. The only people he didn't finish in front of in the last race now start behind him, so bring it on. Sorry, was that the cop-out answer, or is that the one you were going for?
That was the one I was going for.
Oh, well.
Okay. I'm going to go with John Sylvester.
Either him or PVG are a good shout. Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree. Yeah, I mean, they both had a good initial moment to race one. Obviously, when they came together, it was less than ideal. If they can get out in front and run away from everyone else, then they're going to be in for a good race. It's just the case of getting stalled behind a couple of people that are going to start in front of them that they need to watch out for. They can get a good launch and get away. Not really much that Pete Newman can do about that, because he himself has got to fight his way back through some traffic. So, yeah, I don't think either of them are going to be a bad shout.
No, definitely not. And let's see how they go. It is currently 0-0 in the commentator scores. We will be making up a little table there. Since when was that a sweet child?
Since I said so.
Oh, Phil across the pond. He's come in and instantly giving you grief, isn't he?
He's exposed me for not paying taxes, and now he's saying that I'm not a sweet child. He's out of order.
Wow.
I would like to preface, in case anyone's watching after the fact and can't see YouTube chat, it's legal.
Is it though?
I don't earn 12.5 grand a year, so I don't have to pay taxes. It's all good. Yeah, it's fine. It's legal. I started shaking then. I thought I was going to get a nasty email from HMRC.
Yeah, HMRC. Excuse me, Mr. Sweeney. Let's have
Come up here. You've just admitted to not paying tax.
Yeah, live as well on YouTube.
It's fine. I live in Monaco.
Oh, I don't know how nice that would be. It looks very squashed up, but everybody pays over prices for a flat that's only about a 2-bedroom and looks like an apartment in West London. It's doesn't really excite me about living there, I've got to be honest. If you could live anywhere, Zachary, where would you live?
Not Yarmouth. I don't know. Belgium's quite a pretty country, but I don't speak very good Flemish or French, so probably not. I don't know. Somewhere nice, somewhere accessible, somewhere practical. I don't know. Belgium, Holland, Germany, that sort of vein. I don't know. Yeah, they're just cool countries.
In the northern regions of Holland, that would be quite cool.
Actually, no, Sweden or Finland. Actually, the Scandinavian ones.
Oh, it's cold there.
Yeah, but the standard of living is really, really good.
Too cold.
Get some coats.
Oh, this is also true. To be fair, good thing for me is obviously, you know, my online business can go online anywhere, so I've really got the pick of the world if I really want to up and move house.
That's true.
But I wasn't really sure where I'd go. Not gonna lie. I did enjoy Spain while I was out there. It was nice, it was warm, it was clean, beaches. Yeah, that's an option, I suppose. PVG said he'd go to Sweden.
Yeah, it's one of the highest standard of livings in the world. Sweden is really good. The money there is good as well. Everyone's sort of earning a good amount of money. Everyone's able to afford to live. They've not got Rishi Sunak as a prime minister. And yeah, they're doing all right over. Sorry, I'm getting a bit too political.
Let's move politics away from the JPB YouTube channel, especially as my opinions are somewhat more very extroverted. So let's stay away from that. Here as we go into the grid for race. Oh, do you know who we did forget about? Look who's got pole.
Oh,
Tom Griffiths, Alan Toon, Steve Hansford, Dale Bennison, Andy Littler, Dan Lewis, PVG, Jason Addington, Roger Morton and John Sylvester round out the top 10. Then you've got Arnold Chagnonier behind that one as well with Darryl Wright, Ewan Bramer, Miles Owens, Pete Newman, Steve Pepper, Jamie Ayres, Dan Hunt, Darren McLean and Mick Barry. Oh, Tom Griffiths would not have been a bad shout at all for that front end. But here we go, the lights are going to be coming on once more here, and it is going to be underway for race 2. Alan Toon did not go anywhere. Literally the pedal went down and nothing happened in the car, and then as they come sweeping through, it is Griffiths, Hansford, Berry and Littler behind that as well. There they are, the picture of all of the cars. There's an incident in the back. It's Hunter McLean. And in the middle, Steve Pepper, Jamie Ayres, Pete Newman.
I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. Oh my word, Steve Hansford's round as well. What is going on in the opening moments of race 2 here? And wow, what happened? Race 1 was perfect, and then we come into race 2 and it's carnage. It's a war zone out there. 3 wide off the exit at turn 3 as well.
Oh, dearie me. Dan Lewis is alongside PVG. Griffiths is cleared off down the road, 1.8 seconds. Dale Bennison second, PVG third, Dan Lewis, Jason Haddington, all the lone survivors of this race. But Daniel Hunt and Darren McLean went up together. There is Dan Hunt on the outside, Darren McLean in the 88. He snaps off the curb, and then after that, Alan Toon and Roger Morton come to contact, and Pete Newman and everybody else ended up involved in that one. That was just horrendous. It was crazy. There's the contact up front, and look at this.
It's like a pinball machine. Oh my word.
Wow. Absolute mental incident here in race 2. People flying off the track left, right and centre. Your pick is down in 12th at the moment. My pick is in 5th. I just fancied pointing that out to you.
Much appreciated, yeah, no. I thought Pete Newman was able to get away from it, but he wasn't. So now he's a long way off the race lead. Fantastic, yeah. Is it too late to change?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Don't start that. Can I change already? John Sylvester battling away with Dan Lewis, Dale Bennison. I reckon if Sylvester's got a little bit of the hope here, he's got to keep Bramer behind him, and then he's got to clear Lewis. It's going to be tough for him. If he can at least, I reckon, move up a couple of places with the speed of John Sylvester. But boy, oh boy, was that a big one in race 2. There was a lot of people involved in that one. Steve Hefford, Steve Hansford, Mick Barry, Darren McLean, Newman, Alan Toon, Jamie Ayres has cleared, and Daniel Hunt, of course, and it's cleared pretty much the back end of the field with Morton in there as well. And well, if you were going to open it up race 2, that probably wasn't the best way, Zach.
You think, yeah. I think it goes without saying, really, particularly for those involved. I mean, for Tom Griffiths, it worked out perfectly. For PVG, it worked out perfectly. They were both able to decipher their way through the carnage and the chaos. So they're going to be loving the fact that this has happened, because a lot of their rivals are quite a ways down. So for the Season 2 Championship, albeit very early on, it's a good head start to have in the overall championship as well. It's also a good sort of leg up to have relative to your rivals, particularly when Tom Griffiths is doing really, really well up there in second overall. So, yeah, good stuff. For them, bad stuff for those in behind. Pete Newman, no damage sustained to his car, though, as he's setting the pace with a 32.716 and doing his best to close the gap to Andy Littler, already almost halving it from what it was when the incident ensued. Following this battle at the moment, John Sylvester in 5th place. He's on the back of Daniel Lewis and is looking to very quickly dispatch of Daniel Lewis. He's got his teammate of Ewan Bramer just in behind as well, as fights up and down the field. Yeah,
there definitely is, and one that I think will be providing action. Dale Bennison, Dan Lewis, Sylvester, Bramer, and then you've got Hannington and Chagnonier, Wright and Ayres further back as well. And one that is going to be looking rather interesting here. And we're going to see how these guys are going to be able to get on once more. Sylvester is now running up alongside Daniel Lewis down that long straight. He's got to be looking at clearing Lewis by the time they get to the corner at the top end of the track. Turn 8 here. Is he going to be able to get through? Is he going to sweep round the outside? He sweeps him past like a road sweeper sweeping rubbish. Job done from John Sylvester. And now on to Dale Benison. He goes here as well. And well, that's Benison up there and looking rather tasty.
Yeah, he's loving it. Great stuff. Sort of as a welcome back to the series. Ewan Bramer picking his way past Daniel Lewis as they are knocking on the door for the overall podium. But Benison, again, I think I sort of gave it the good omen by saying that we were like, I'm surprised that the AMs are so far off the pros in qualifying, because they've basically said, sod you, Zach, we're going to be up the front anyway. John Sylvester looking to the inside of Benison. That shouldn't be too hard fought from the 37 machine, who sort of just tucks back into situ. But still P4 overall. I mean, yeah, great stuff from Benison to kickstart his season.
Yeah, definitely is there. And one, I think, from him will be great as well. Leading the AMs. Can he hold on, though? That's going to be the question. And he's got the very fast Ewan Bramer behind him. The problem is once he gets past that, there's 4-5 AMs, and they were all involved in the championship last time out with Chagnon and Littler as well. And just for good health, you're going to throw Haddington in. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one, I think, for Dan Lewis, unless he can really get on his bike and stay within that draft. Is Ewan Bramer going to be able to do Dale Benison by the end? John Sylvester has. I'm expecting Sylvester to kick on now and start making his way up to PVG. Oh, Bramer got pushed out. Benison shut the door a little bit, just let that car go. He made Bramer think about it twice before he took the right-hander, and now he's managing to keep it behind him as he's going round here in turn 5. Mick Barry that one away with Miles Owens. That's not one I would have thought I would have been talking about very early on, but it does look like Owens has lost a lot of pace there as Barry sweeps past him like he wasn't even there, Zach.
Yeah, as if he was just standing still. I mean, easily done when you've got the slipstream and the slingshot. Here comes Dale Benison back on Ewan Bramer. He is forced to tuck just in behind the SOB racing car of the Flying Dutchman, who is now about 1.5 seconds off his teammate John Sylvester, who's up now into 3rd place. Benison, he's mixing it up quite well. Now he's got a direct fight. This is for, obviously, the win in the AMs. The higher up Benison can finish, the more points he scores. It's not 1 point tally for the pros and 1 point tally for the AMs. It's one continuous one. So Benison being in 3rd while Lewis was in 6th would have been fantastic in terms of a points haul. But now he's only 1 position ahead. But the fight for the AM lead is going to rage on for the remaining half of this race. Hopefully it is going to be a sensational one. Arnaud Chagnon, Jason Haddington and Andy Littler not too far back from that one. Pete Newman, by the way, bit of an update on him. He's able to claw his way up a couple more places and knocking on the door actually of Andy Littler for P9. Well, Pete Newman, he is one man you do not want to get angry, because, well, he's taking this with both hands and said, you know what, well, it's another last to first challenge, and he's already found himself back in the top 10.
Yeah, he definitely is moving up. He's now in, well, he's +6 on where he was. Obviously was involved in the earlier fracas that claimed Ayres, Morton, Toon, Hunt, McLean. There was all of them involved in that as well. That's why we've got Hefford, Toon, Hansford, Hunt and McLean all in the pits. Hansford did it, looked like he almost did it himself, to be honest there, Zach. And I think, unfortunately for Steve Hansford, he just lost out. Dale Benison and Daniel Lewis, this is going to be a battle down in the AMs. Unfortunately for Sylvester, he's losing time to PVG out in front. He's 3.4 seconds back, with Pete Van Gool chasing down on Tom Griffiths there. I think both of us missed the fact that Tom Griffiths was on pole position there, Zach. And unfortunately, yeah, we didn't get that right.
No, unfortunately not. But we live and we learn, and looking forward to the rest of the races, where, you know, we can all learn something from our mistakes and hopefully correct them. I'm sure all of the drivers out on circuit are going to learn from those mistakes and very quickly amend them, because if that continues for the whole season, they're not going to be scoring many points. PVG setting the pace. He's also clawed his way into the sub 32s, into the 1 minute 31.9 for the Flying Dutchman. And what did we say? He gets off to a slow start in race 1 at the opening moment of the season, and now he's back fighting for the lead in the second. Tom Griffiths, well, he's got a very, very tough job ahead of him if he wants to keep this race lead. Pete Van Gool practically pushing the privateer car through, and look at that, how close he's getting to the rear end. PVG just looks so well poised around a circle like this.
Yeah, he definitely does. And I said in the first race, he looked quite comfortable. He did look like he had pace. It did look like he could possibly take that lead away from Hunt and Ayres, and just unfortunately couldn't do it there and was not able to. Daniel Lewis and Benison still battling it out here with Newman behind Arnold, Jason Hannington actually, and there will be Pete Newman right behind him, tucked up as close as he can get. But it is going to be all about PVG, who has just cleared Tom Griffiths. Was that down into turn 1? No, it wasn't. It was on the run out of 1. Don't tell me you sweep down the outside of 2, surely. Oh, Griffiths left the door open. He had to brake himself, otherwise that would have been too wide around a corner that naturally goes off to the left-hand side.
Well, it was a good effort, I suppose. And now PVG's worked his way up into the racing the 39 machine. It must be said, he is, as we said, he's been so calm, he's been so composed, he's been so brilliant around a circuit like this. It just seems like he's at home. He's so comfortable. And between sort of weighing them up between John Sylvester and PVG, they sort of were on equal terms as to who might be able to come out on top. PVG probably was the better option in hindsight. But don't count out Tom Griffiths and John Sylvester just yet, because, well, they're not a million miles away. Tom Griffiths obviously right underneath the Momo MX5. Sylvester about 4 seconds off, but if the fight continues very, very hard, who knows what might come about of things. Tom Griffiths is going to be so eager to get back in front of PVG, because the last thing he wants is to be robbed of a race win that he's sort of almost been gifted from the pole position. He would have been hating the fact that PVG drove onto the back of him, and now he's going to be fighting tooth and nail to make sure that he doesn't get away.
As Edgecock said, gave that lead away a tad there, really shame on him. Do you think the Griffiths left that inside door?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just thinking as to what benefit he would have had to not defending. Maybe he was scared of the up and under. Maybe he didn't think PVG was going to go for it. I don't know. Yeah.
To think the racer wouldn't go for the gap.
Yeah, no, I know, but you can sort of get led into a false sense of security. You look back and you think, he's not close enough, it's fine. And then you get to the corner and it's like, actually, no, he was close enough, and I've just gave him a free place. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, thinking, yeah, he won't go for that, it's fine. So you don't defend, and then they do, in fact, end up going for it. So, yeah, not great. This fight here, though, John Sylvester, Ewan Bramer, both for Sob Racing, have worked their way through the field quite nicely. It seems that Bramer is the quicker of the two cars at this stage in the race. It just depends as to if Bramer's going to work with his teammate or if he's going to try and mount a challenge. He pulls out to the left-hand side of the circuit and will actually get the place relative to John Sylvester, who I think is going to work with Bramer to catch the top two.
Yeah, 3.8 seconds, 2.5 minutes though. I'm a bit worried that is not even going to be physically possible. Dan Lewis, Benison, and now Sean Yonye in the mix here. And these guys are battling it out for the AM lead, of course, currently held by Benison, with Sean Yonye behind Lewis. Lewis in the middle there. Let's see how this battle works out for these guys. And we've got this one and one more here, Zach. And, well, how do we think it's going to go for these guys? Because these freeway battling it out for the AM lead. Yeah, they've got to make sure they get it right, haven't they?
They don't want any massive disasters. They have got Pete Newman closing in as we approach the penultimate lap of the race, so they've got to be careful that Pete Newman doesn't sort of throw a spanner into the works. But Benison leading the way for the AMs, Lewis and Sean Yonye just in behind. Sean Yonye trying to get off to a good initial moment in the season when it was able to take second place in the AMs in race one. At the moment it's sat third, so great consistency, it must be said, from the Frenchman. But he's got his work cut out for him, because Daniel Lewis is going to try and maybe put an attack on Benison. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness me. What a send over the curb. Gets defended from Benison. Daniel Lewis out of nowhere going to the inside. It's cost him, though. Tagged round. Daniel Lewis into the barrier. Arnaud Chagnon giving him a good old tap. Wow. Yeah, that happened so quickly.
Lewis went up over the curb, but what's the need for that?
In a bit, no, absolutely no need from Chagnon. I mean, Lewis didn't do himself any favours. That goes without saying. Going for that move like that was very, very absurd. He then put himself on a compromised line through the second one. Arnaud Chagnon, if he just got a better run coming out and just went more to the right, he'd have got the position. I think he was more eager in sitting back and staying in the slipstream more than anything. which at the end of it was to Lewis's detriment, which is a shame because it would have been a good fight for the lead. Now what we've got is Benison and Newman 5th and 6th, with Chagnon a little bit behind. On to the final lap of the race. PVG, Tom Griffiths separated by only half a second. Here goes Pete Newman to the inside of turn 2. Stuck on the outside though is Benison. He's going to give a good old fight back into the next right-hander at turn 3. Pete Newman though staying firm on the outside and keeps the position. Benison able to keep the AM lead, and I would have to say that bar any major mistakes, is almost his AM race to lose.
Definitely is. Shame really, because that would have been a nice little tidy three-way fight, as PVG, it looks like he's going to be breaking away from Tom Griffiths in the middle of that. And there is a back marker, that is Roger Morton in front of him. That's probably aiding PVG quite a lot here, to be honest, to be able to hold on to that lead. And it is going to be PVG and then Tom Griffiths. I don't think Griffiths is going to do anything crazy coming into this final flurry of corners, unless he's going to try and sneak up the inside, of course. He is. Oh, it's going to be a run down to the line. It is going to be PVG. Well, Griffiths had a good old go there, not going to lie. And in the hands, is it going to be Benison? It looks like it is. And Benison comes over the line with Chagnon in second there. And Jason Haddington is going to be in third place, I think. Yeah, Haddington looks like he's got a big gap to Andy Littler. There is Littler behind him. There is the recovering Daniel Lewis, who's not going to be overly impressed by the scenario a minute ago. Mick Barry is going to come over the line in front of Miles Owens. Is Owens going to try and sneak it up the inside? He nearly lost his nose to Barry. Ez comes over, Wright comes over, Barry comes over, and Owens comes over as well. So that is the final finishers here, as Hefford, Toon, Hansford, Hunt and McLean were all ended up in the pit lane. And here are the results for race 2. PVG is your winner. Tom Griffiths second, Ewan Bramer third, John Sylvester fourth, Pete Newman fifth, Dale Benison sixth, Arnold Chagnon seventh place, Jason Addington eighth, Andy Littler ninth, Dan Lewis 10th, Jamie Ayres 11th, Darryl Wright 12th, Mick Barry 13th, Miles Owens 14th, Roger Morton 15th, Steve Hefford 16th, Darren McLean, Sir Alan Toon, and then beyond that we've got the likes of Steve Hansford and Dan Hunt, who were all involved in the little fracas at the beginning. Right, guys, it is that time of the evening where we do have to take a little bit of a short break here before we change over sessions. So, and as always, we will be back very, very shortly. So from myself and Zach Sweeney, currently, we will see you after this break. Okay, guys, we are back here as well for Heat 3 and 4, the final 30 minutes of racing. And what an epic evening it has been. You're still with myself, James Parfitt, and Zach Sweeney in the booth. Once more, bringing you all the action here from Motorsport for the UK SimRacers MX5. And what a race it has been so far across the pros and the AMs. Hunt, Ayres and Hefford wrapped up the 1, 2, 3 in the first race with Wright, Chonier and Morton getting the AMS podium. In race 2, PVG, Griffiths and Bramer, after much chaos at the beginning that involved quite a lot of drivers. In the AMS, it was Benison, Chonier and Haddington after that as well coming down here. And, well, let's just say it was an interesting opening to race 2, Zach, I think.
Interesting goes without saying. It was carnage. It was chaos. It was the last thing you'd really expect, in all fairness, from the UK SimRacers. They really didn't get off to the best of starts. It was rather surprising, in all fairness. We saw a lot of big contenders knocked out almost straight away. But I think we're looking on the up for race 2. I think we sort of got what we expected from Motorsport. That opening 3 corners, as you say, was going to cause chaos. I think we got away lucky in race 1. We've taken race 2. It's a bit of reality check. Drivers know the limit. They know not to be so aggressive. And now they're going to rein it in a bit for race 3. But the competitiveness that we've had, the overtaken, it's been nothing short of fantastic. So bring on race 3.
Yeah, it's one that we are going to be looking forward to. And once again, we will wait and see what happens here as well. Don't forget, guys, we have got a lot of racing coming up this week. There are new seasons starting all over the place. We've got the BSC Round 1 NASCAR kicking off from Daytona later on as well at 1:45 in the morning. Then you've got myself and Callum Milam doing the JPB GT4's Round 2 from COTA. And then as well, we've got the TSRC Rookie Series there with Dan Peebles and Alex Goldsmith. Later on that evening, we've got the Beer League, the LSRL F1 and the American Sim Racing League all kicking off round about between 1 and 1:45 in the morning. And Thursday night, we've got the Radical Sim Racers opening round there for round 1. So there's definitely a lot of action over these next few days that should keep you very, very busy on the JPB YouTube channel. And you can sit back one night and relax, and there's stuff there for everyone to sit and enjoy. But let's see how this one pans out going into race 3. We have got a top 14 reverse for race 4. So it will be the top 14 there, young Zachary. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Who are you going to pick for race 3? Because this is just a random group slots. None of us really know where anybody's going to be. So who are you going to pick?
Pete Newman. Again, I think that provided he doesn't get caught up in any carnage, the way he fought his way back to P5 in race 2 was sensational despite the contact. He might get unlucky and start right towards the back. I don't think that's going to matter. He might get really lucky and start more towards the front. Job's a good one. I'm going to go for Pete Newman for the second race in a row.
I'm going to go with Hefford.
Fair enough.
I think he's due. So I'm going to go with Steve Hefford.
Fair enough. I respect that. It's a good choice.
Hopefully it works out. That's currently right. How do you want to work the standings? Do you want to do points in each race, or do you want to do the fact that we're technically both on 0?
I mean...
Or do you want to take the points of the drivers that you've picked and put them into a table?
Points of the drivers that we've picked, I think, is probably going to be best. Keeps it nice and interesting, doesn't it?
Okay. We'll see how that one comes out then, I guess.
Let's do it. So what we went for... I went for Jamie Ayres in race 1. You went for PVG. No.
Yep.
And then I went for Newman and you went for Sylvester.
Yeah.
And then now I'm going for Pete Newman and you're going for...
Hefford.
Cool. Yeah. All right. I said that's fairly even, actually, at this point.
I would probably say we are. We'll find out. Yeah, let's see how they go. Right, Mr. Pete Van Gorler, we're going to advance this session as we've got 15 minutes remaining of this session. It does look like we've got all the drivers here and we will be up and running with race 3. I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be an exciting one as well. Ewan Bramer has come out and set an apology. My apologies for the start. The wheel glitched and wouldn't go into first place. Oh.
First place?
First gear. Sorry.
First gear, there we go, yeah.
Sorry, I was staying hydrated at that point you were speaking to me, so make sure you stay
Oh,
hydrated.
nice. Yeah, especially with the heat wave. It's disgusting. I've hated every second of today. It's just been too hot. Absolutely disgusting. And that's with my bedroom being downstairs as well. So make sure you are drinking. Plenty of water, plenty of hydrations for you guys at home. If you're amongst the massive heat wave that we're experiencing right now, because the last thing we want is heat stroke. And that's actually something that happens quite often when it comes to sim racing. You're not exerting any external force on your body like G-force or anything, but you are still susceptible to heat. You're in a room, you're next to a PC that's going haywire, you're next to your sim rig, which is going haywire, which is all those rotors and things and heating up quite a lot. It gets sweaty in a sim rig.
It definitely does. I wouldn't know. I haven't sat in one for ages.
Well, I've sold mine, so yeah.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, it was just sat there collecting dust. I don't know. I don't play iRacing as much as I did. I don't have the subscription. AC is fun. ACC is fun. My ACC didn't work because my wheel settings were a bit on the haywire side. Race Room is all right, but again, I didn't play it enough. Yeah, there's just loads of sims, but nothing really online. I don't get the same thrill from fighting AI as I do actual people for actual competitions. So I just didn't use it. I just got bored. So I was like, sweet, 400 quid in my pocket.
But why don't you go and sign up for iRacing and stop being tight?
Because money, mate.
Oh, makes me. It would
Cost of
make
living prices.
It would make my life a lot easier.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know that.
I do. I know it all too well. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Mr. Hedges said you should spice it up and say that you can't pick the same driver twice in one evening.
All right. Starting next week.
That's
Can't change a mid. Can't change a mid read. No, you can't change the rules mid broadcast. That's not how it works.
All right. Technically, up until the beginning of race 3, I haven't picked the same driver. You have, so you need to change, really.
I don't need to do anything because the rules are still the rules. Adam,
Well,
you put in a very, very good suggestion.
I'm going to put it up for a vote now between myself and you. And don't forget, I'm the lead judge, so therefore I get the final say anyway. So I think that we need to...
What kind of a democracy is this?
It isn't. It isn't a democracy, but I still think at the end of the day, being up to the fact that we have picked different drivers, and I picked another different driver, maybe you need to be making a rotation.
Okay. You tell Pete Newman to slow down, and I'll change my pick.
All right, done. I've sent him a message already.
Have you? All right, awesome.
So who are you going for?
Oh, I have to change now, do I?
Well, to be fair, I do believe that Adam Edgecott's got a bit of a good idea.
I agree. I'm not saying it's not a good. I'm not saying it's not a good idea. I'm saying it's a fantastic idea.
Is that because you're relying on the fact that you're going to win this race?
No.
Is that really the problem? It is a little bit, isn't it? All right, hold on. Right, Steve Hefford is in pole position. Jamie Ayres in second, Dan Lewis third, Pete Newman fourth, Ewan Bramer fifth, Sir Alan Toon sixth, Jason Addington seventh, Tom Griffiths eighth, Roger Morton ninth, Darryl Wright 10th, Miles Owens 11th, Daniel Hunt is in 12th place. Then beyond that, we've got Pete Van Gaal, Mick Barry, Arnold Chaudier, Darren McLean, Andy Littler, John Sylvester, and Dale Bedison there as well. Well, I'm happy with my pick, so there we go.
Fair enough. Well, here we go. Bring on race 3.
Lights are coming on there as well. 4 lights, 5 lights, we are underway. Hefford's got a start, but it looks like he's almost got a better one. Is he going to be able to run round turn 1? Daniel Lewis is sat in the middle of a position that I bet you he was not expecting as these guys come racing round turn 1, and it is Hefford, Ayres, Newman, Lewis, and then behind that as well we've got Ewan Bramer, Haddington, Morton and Griffiths have just swapped positions as well. No dramas that we had in race 2. There's that. Can everybody currently through cleanly?
Yeah, for now, basically. Steve Hefford leads the way, Jamie Ayres and Pete Newman the top 3, Bramer and Lewis behind that. So the AM's doing quite well in the initial getaways. So far so good. Pete Newman already trying to eye up Jamie Ayres for the second place so far in the opening moments. He tries to get the up and under, does get a little bit of an overlap, not enough really to see him through into the first heavy braking zone as we run our way through the double right-hander here at Moss Corner. This is really where we're going to start seeing the cars bunch up ever so slightly, and this is where we're going to see Pete Newman shine. Hefford, Ayres and Newman, 3 drivers tonight that have been waiting for their moment to shine. And, well, all 3 of them now find themselves 1, 2 and 3 in this race. This race 3 is going to be a heated battle, I think, between the top 4.
Yeah, it definitely is. Tom Griffiths has made his way past Roger Morton. He's tucked up now behind Jason Haddington. They're going to be looking at going, taking it 3 wide, down into turn 8. This could only go one way, and it can't necessarily go the best way. It is Haddington on the inside. Griffiths is going to sweep round there as well. Griffiths got the job done. Dan Hunt is trying to come back through the field. He's running side by side with Miles Owens. PVG is in the mix at the same time. He's battling up behind Hunt now here as well. Is he going to be able to hang this on? Miles Owens sweeps up the inside of Roger Morton. Job done for him. Dan Hunt is going to get Morton as well before they even get down into turn 1. It is still Hefford. Newman has done Jamie Ayres, and Newman is now into second place here. Ayres is on the grass. He's going to be it. Oh, he managed to hold on to it. Do we think Steve Hefford's going to hang on for another 13 minutes?
No. Yeah, straight away, I really don't. I'll be honest, as good of a driver as Steve Hefford is, Pete Newman has just been untouchable today. He's been in sort of a league of his own out in front, head and shoulders above the rest, but I'm happy to be surprised if it means we get a good fight for the lead. Already searching for a bit of a gap is Pete Newman, finds himself, oh my word, threading the needle maybe to the inside as they once again head onto the brakes for Moss Corner. Steve Hefford's got to keep it nice and tidy. He needs a good run. If I was Steve Hefford, I'd be slowing down more than anything, not even trying to speed up. Slow down, bring Ayres and Bramer into the mix, put Pete Newman under pressure, because right now there's not really much that Hefford can do.
Yeah, he's just sitting, basically he's just sitting ducking headlights at the moment with Newman coming through, and here comes Pete Newman now. There he is, he's pulled out to the left-hand side. We've got Hefford on the inside. Hefford is just going to be able to sit there. He's got to try and go in deep into turn 1. Newman now looking on from into turn 8, sorry. He does go in deep. Can he manage to hang on? Is he going to be able to swing it in front of Newman? He can this time around now. What is Hefford going to be able to do? Can he hold Newman back? Can he bring Ayres in? Can he bring Bramer in? Can this be a top 4 fight with a 1.8 second gap back to Tom Griffiths? 11.5 minutes. Let's see what happens here as well, as there's 1:32.756 fastest lap of the race going on here, and now it is going to be an interesting one once more as they start. Newman pulls out. He's going to try and send him around the outside of turn 2. Is Hefford going to hold on? He manages to hold on to the car on track, but he loses that position and Newman is through.
He is, and now the pressure's on for Steve Hefford as his teammate Jamie Ayres is looking to go to the outside as they run their way through turn 3. Hefford's able to hang on, but they've got to keep each other in tow. They cannot allow Pete Newman to get away, because he is the last driver you want running away with things out in front. Jamie Ayres, what is he going to do? Is he going to sit stationary behind? Is he going to allow Hefford one more chance to attack? Because through Moss Corner, it all comes to a good exit. He's got a nice tight run. He's put his foot down first. Pete Newman, it's not going to be a walk in the park.
No, it definitely is. Hefford got an excellent run out of Moss there. Here we go now. We're on the board, on the top there of Steve Hefford. Newman has gone already. He's gone out of that picture. There he is. We're going to see Hefford come in on the left-hand side. Round behind the timing tower he goes. Steve Hefford. Is Newman going to send it up? It's going to be a battle of the brakes. Who's going to be the brave man? Who's going to be the William Wallace of the MX5 at Motorsport? Oh, no!
Oh, and there's a crash, and he's tapped the wall, and he's brought it back onto the race circuit. Pete Newman, how damaged is that car? That's the question. He's stopped, he's waiting for a chance. Pete Newman is out of this race. Steve Hefford up there in P1. Not even Pete Newman can bring this back.
No, the car is gone. And unfortunately for Newman, he jumps into the pits there. Zach, I'm very sorry for you, sir. I really do.
I feel sorry for myself. I was heartbroken. Right. Yeah, I can hear the world's smallest violin playing as well. That's what I get for going for the cop-out answer, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what you get for not picking another driver, Zachary. And
yeah,
as YouTube chat said, Kim Jong Parfitt has spoken. Oh, Hunt's off in the background. Hunt is off as well. It's not even going to be Daniel Hunt's day here in race 3. He's gone off in the background. Is Hefford going to hold on? Can he hold on 9.5 minutes, Zach? He looks like he's got Moss Corner down. I'm not going to lie. He gets very quick and breaks that gives a nice little 2-3 gap back to the car behind him there, just round Moss Corner.
Oh, wow. Yeah. When isn't there a moment to breathe? Well, when is there a moment to breathe? Because there isn't. Ewan Bramer now trying to put a bit of pressure on Jamie Ayres. Looking to the left-hand side as they run their way into the very fast right-hander. No way through for the Dutchman who tries to get the up and under. Steve Hefford now leads the way, but you've got Tom Griffiths now in the background. This is turning itself into a 4-car fight for the lead. Steve Hefford finds himself at the front of it. He is going to have a very tough job at hanging on to this because we've seen how powerful that slipstream is.
Yeah, definitely as well. But watch him coming out of Moss. I think that's where Hefford is saving himself. Lap after lap after lap, he is burying Moss Corner, and he's getting it so right that Ayres can't get near him. He brings it out to about 4.5 tenths round Moss Corner, just on that one specific area of the racetrack. So watch it again here as it goes round now. We're heading round turn 3. Round Quebec we go. We're going to start dropping down the hill. We're going to bring the car to the right-hand side, up the little incline, and then we're going to plummet down. Just watch how Hefford handles this corner. Well, saying that, I'm hoping he don't go and mess it up now, but let's see if he can. He's bringing it round. He gets on the brakes. He swings it round in one clean motion and then manages to get and open up 4.5 tenths. And he keeps that gap all the way down that straight, and he does an incredible job just in that one area alone.
You got to be quick where you need to be quick, and that is exactly what Steve Hefford does. It's given him a margin to breathe with and work with more than anything. Getting a good run off Moss allows him just to have this margin that he can sort of sit in and say, okay, yeah, I'm not really under much pressure. That is Jamie Ayres, however, it is on the other side of the story because Ewan Bramer is putting some pressure on, forcing the Momo driver to go defensive. Good day in the office at the moment for Momo, it must be said, as they lead the race 1-2. And that begs the question, obviously, how hard of a job does Steve Hefford have at defending, knowing that he's got Jamie Ayres there as a teammate, but he's made a mistake, and now they're side by side through the pit straight.
Yeah, Bramer's trying to wiggle through the window. Oh. That nearly went horribly wrong. Hefford's run wide in turn 1 as well. That's allowed Ayres through. And now Hefford is sitting in second place with Jamie Ayres in first. But Hefford has got the berry of Moss. Ayres hasn't quite got it right. Is this where Steve Hefford can make this back? Ewan Bramer trying to thread an eye through a needle. Or whatever, the eye through the needle. Is it the thread the eye through a needle?
Needle through the eye, isn't it?
No, because you don't put a needle through the eye.
No,
Thread the eye of a needle. That's the word.
That one.
And nearly made contact with all of them there, and it nearly went completely horribly wrong. But let's look at the runs coming out of Moss. Let's see what Hefford could do. He sweeps it in, he comes out, makes one motion, gets a better run again. Here he goes now, the man with the yellow rover. He's going for it down the straight. He's on his way down the Mario Andretti. He's pulled out already. There goes Jamie Ayres on the right-hand side. Ayres is already out of the picture. We're going to see Hefford be coming in on the left-hand side. There he is, yellow wheels and all. Is he going to now retake that lead after the incident a lap ago where it was almost 3 wide down the start-finish straight? He sweeps across. He's going to cut the nose off. Job done. Hefford through.
Oh! Ewan Bramer's gone with him. They've tagged each other. Oh my goodness me, the chaos. Ewan Bramer has been eyeing up that move for far too long. We'll take another look as to how it happened. Side by side with the Momo boys. Tom Griffiths behind, forces Bramer to go in deep. He's thinking, yummy, this is fantastic. And, well, I don't really think Ayres saw that coming very much. And drifted out to the left-hand side, tagged Bramer, and around they both went. Race over for the pair of them.
Yep. Now released Steve Hefford to get a 6-tenth gap over Tom Griffiths, who's got 4.8 seconds back to PVG, with Owens a further second back, who's got Sylvester, and Wright, who's leading the AMS, has got a 2-second gap back to Daniel Hunt. And well, that alone has just released Steve Hefford to take the victory of this race, really.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't really think that there's not going to be much contest on.
I want to talk about wiggle the eye of the wiggle through the middle.
Yeah, that's what you said when Ewan Bramer tried to go through the two Momo boys.
Did I?
You said wiggle through. You said wiggle through the whittle.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Never mind. Welcome to the that's fine. The excitement overtakes it.
It's fine, because you took the mick out of my voice crack on the TCRs that one time, so I had to get
Yeah,
back.
but then again, you did sound like the squeaky toy out of Toy Story, I'm not going to lie.
I did. I wasn't feeling well that week.
No. And the funniest thing is you still try to commentate, which made me laugh. I was there beforehand, like, are you sure you want to do this? You don't sound good. Yeah, it'll be all right. I was like, all right. And then halfway through, it was like Wheezy out of Toy Story. We had up in the booth here as well, so...
I'm committed to the job. I get it done.
Well, I'll give you that. You definitely do. Yes, you definitely do, sir, as well. I'm not sure sounding like Wheezy was the best thing. Oh, I'm sorry.
See, a good fellow commentator would have taken over at that point and not let me suffer rather than laughing at me.
I did try, but you didn't stop talking, so I was like, go on, Zach, go for it. Go on, Wheezy, off you go.
Yeah, I think I should be left at the top shelf like Wheezy was in Toy Story. Poor thing.
Dust it up and put in the box, and out he goes for the yard sale. Right, these guys panning away. Back to the race after that, a minute of wobble there as well, which unfortunately, was... Oh, Steve! Oh, the only time he's made a mistake at Moss, and he makes it with 3 minutes remaining. Oh, no! Griffiths is going to have the inside. It is going to be a straight quarter-mile drag between these 140 horsepower MX5s, if that. Down they go. Griffiths is in the blue, white, Hefford in the Momo yellow. Is Hefford going to try and sweep down the outside to keep the inside for turn 9? He needs to send it in, and he does it with authority. Steve Hefford is through again. He's not going to lose this race, Zach. He is battling like Frank Bruno against Mike Tyson, and we know how that one ended up, actually. Bruno got knocked out. But anyway, I'm sure that ain't going to happen to Steve Hefford.
I'm glad you answered that because I didn't know how that one turned out, so thank you.
Yeah, Tyson knocked him out.
Fair enough, yeah, as I'd expect, to be fair.
Yeah, it was Tyson in his heyday, mate. Bruno had no chance, to be honest.
That's true. Does he still have 2 ears?
He's still got 2 ears, yeah. He wasn't much.
That's fine then.
He wasn't Hannibal Lectered.
That's fine. As long as he can still hear him coming, that's all good. But yeah, these two have been going at it. It's been awesome stuff. Neither of them have obviously got glass jaws. They can take the punch, they can throw the punch, and well, they are absolutely flying out in front. They've been the class of the field over the course of race 3, and they've only got a lap and a half really left to go in the 3/4 stage of this evening. And well, Steve Hefford once again goes in deep through Moss, and you can see Tom Griffiths takes a tighter line in initially. Steve Hefford goes wide and stays wide to cut in straighter for the second part. Tom Griffiths takes a more geometrically shorter arc through, so he clips the first apex, stays tight, clips the second apex. He's not as straight, but the slipstream allows to make up for that deficit. That's what we were talking about with Steve Hefford, how he is so efficient at that run. This time by, though, it's not going to be quite enough, so he's going to have to go defensive. Tom Griffiths with the slipstream and the slingshot looks to the left-hand side as they run their way in towards the next right-hander. Griffiths gives it a good go. Has he still got the overlap? Yes, just. Steve Hefford pushing the limits. Now they continue to go side-by-side through the last couple of corners to begin the final lap of the race. The advantage once again swings the way of Steve Hefford. The up and under for Griffiths. He's going to have the momentum. Here we go. One more lap of race 3.
Yeah, final lap of the race, and it's got Hefford and Griffiths. They come round turn 1 now. Hefford on the right. He needs the inside for 2. He needs Griffiths to back off, and the only way to do that is take that inside line for turn 2. He cuts across him with authority. Steve Hefford running round turn 2 now. On he goes on to 3. He turns around and says to Griffiths, I am not losing this race. You may take my bumper, but you are not taking my first place. And Steve Hefford he's on it, Zach, tonight. He's going to win this one.
Oh, well, don't speak too soon, because Tom Griffiths is going to be so eager to let this one not fizzle out too soon through Moss, and this is probably going to be the most important run of the entire race. Look at the differences between the two lines. Tom Griffiths once again puts his foot down. Steve Hefford, come on, Griffiths, do not back out of this. I'm not meant to be biased. This is the one time I will root for a driver explicitly. Steve Hefford, you are not allowed to win this race. As glad as I would be, Tom Griffiths, put your foot down, find a 7th gear, press NOS, whatever you have to do. Now to the outside, he's going to go for the lead.
Here he goes. They're coming up side by side. Hefford has been so quick. He's late on the brakes. He's going round now. Griffith is going to get it on the inside. Is Hefford going to sweep round? He needs the inside line for the final corner. Steve Hefford takes the inside. Is he going to get through? It's going to be a sprint race down to the line. It's going to be... Oh, it's going to be Griffiths. Oh, no. Rats.
Griffiths.
Well, you better send him a Valentine's card or something. I don't know.
I'll send him all the chocolates he wants. Frere Rochers, mate. You are getting treated tonight, Sonny Jim. Yeah. Wow. Steve Hefford. As much as he deserved that win, Tom Griffiths, mate, you just deserved it more, mate. He was just better. Yeah. Sweet. Still 0-0.
You lucky rascal. Right, here are the results for race 3. Tom Griffiths in first place, Steve Hefford in second, Miles Owens in third, Dan Hunt in fourth, Darrell Wright in fifth, John Sylvester sixth, Pete Van Gool seventh, Dale Benison eighth, Jason Haddington ninth, Andy Littler in 10th, Arnold Chagnon in 11th. And then we had Sir Alan Toon, Roger Morton, Jamie Ayres, Ewan Bramer, Pete Newman, Dan Lewis, Darren McLean, and then behind that as well we had Mick Barry. Wow. Love that. That was a stunning race.
That's what I do. This is what we do it for. It's why we do it. It's always the fun of the job. I love the competitiveness. I just love the drivers just not giving an inch. So much respect between the two of them. They've shared so many good fights in the past, and today was no different. Race 3 was such a good way to sort of continue their charge, and Griffiths has really thrown me a lifeline.
He definitely has here as well. We're going into a warm-up. So there we go. Mr. Edge said I think he knocked out in like 2 rounds or something. It was down in the first round too, I believe. Yeah, I think Tyson just absolutely repped Bruno. However, how much of a national treasure Bruno was at that time, I think he just literally got knocked out. So a bit across the pond, I think there was something fishy going on there. Well, I'm sorry, if you're expecting uncompetitive, unbiased commentary, you definitely ain't got it. And let's bring the man who did finish in second place at the end in race 3 into the booth. Mr. Steve Hefford, how are you, sir?
Not bad, buddy, you?
Oh, mate, I'm gutted for you. I had you down for the win as well.
Yeah, I have won races in that last couple of corners before there. You can put it, you can send it around the outside and get the inside, but you get a rubbish exit on the last corner then, which is exactly what happened there. But I think Tom was saving it, to be honest. He was playing with me till then.
No, dude.
But no, I don't care, buddy. I mean, as long as the racing is as good as that,
The racing was absolutely amazing, and literally there was some very biased commentary from Zach Sweeney up here in the booth, Steve. He was
there? Had he picked Tom, had he?
No, he hadn't, but he knew if mine had won, it would have put me one up for the evening, unfortunately. Because neither of us done well in race 1 or 2, to be honest.
It's not personal, Steve, I promise.
No, it's all right.
Nothing against you, mate.
No,
it's all James.
Fine. Crack on.
But yeah, it was an absolutely stunning one, mate, as well. And I think, bring on more of that. The season itself, to be fair, after the first 3 races, mate, it's not shaping up to be a bad season with 20 cars on track currently.
Yeah, it's good. The racing is good. There's no intent, you know what I mean? I've had a mixed night. There was a couple of, I think...
Race 2 was a bit
John
odd.
John took it 3 wide with, I think it was Roger on his right and Alan on his left, and they came together, and I think Roger ended up being a pinball, and I got caught up in that. But to be fair, everyone gets their fair share of good luck and bad luck, so it's the equivalent of engine failures and whatnot. So it's all part of it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Alan Toon was involved in that as well. And I'd love to see Alan Toon in a rig at the moment. He was bouncing across the track and just taking people out. Can you imagine him in the rig about now going, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It would have been funny.
Yeah,
all right, come on, Steve. What are we doing for race 4? What's the situation? Top 14 reverse.
I'm going hell for leather. I'm good. Well, it's just a great track, isn't it? And there's plenty of opportunities for overtaking. It's quite technical, so you get a decent line. There's potential everywhere, really. So I'll be pushing as hard as I can. What's the reverse?
14.
14. Right. Okay. Yeah, it's doable.
You reckon 14 to first? There's a lot of drivers in front of you, mate.
Yeah, there is, but there's plenty of things to happen as well. You only need to put a wheel on the grass here, and you can see 2 or 3 cars going off in the first couple of laps. It's easily done. Well, so I just do the best I can, really.
All right, Steve. Well, you keep going on, trying as much as you can getting a victory this evening. It'd be great to see you on that top step there, bud. Thank you so much for joining us, and enjoy race 4.
Yep. Take it easy.
Keep
it cool.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Cheers.
Right, Zach, who are you going for?
Who am I going for? Good question.
Right, I'm going for Jamie Ayres.
All right, he's in. Awesome. I don't know who finished where. Wait, can I just rerun the stream to see who the top 14 of us is going to
be? Do you want the results? Would that help?
That'd be perfect. Hang on, no, I've got him. 14th place is Jamie Ayres. Oh, you know what? Missed that. There's no one else near him. There's no... Oh, my goodness me. Do you know what? I'm going with Sir Alan Toon.
What?
Yeah. What? Do you not have faith in him?
No. I love Alan, but I think that's about as long shot as a three-legged donkey running the Grand National. No offence, Al. I love you, really.
Right.
Are you sure?
My three-legged donkey.
All right. Right. Okay.
Is it too good? Is it too late to turn back?
No. Done.
Is that set in stone?
Well,
all right.
Okay. You said earlier on about changing drivers, and you wouldn't want to do that.
No.
Right?
I'm straight. No, I'm all in, mate. I've got all my chips, and yeah.
All right, well, here's the grid for race 4. Ayres, Morton, Toon, Chardonnay, Littler, Hannington, Benison, Van Gogh, Sylvester, Wright, Hunt and Owens. And then beyond that, we have got Hefford, Griffiths, Brayman, Newman, Lewis, McLean and Barry. I've read it quickly because they are practically all on the grid already here. As now we're opening up with Jamie Ayres in first place currently at the moment. The lights are going to be coming on. Let's see what happens. Can Alan Toon provide the victory for Zach? Is Jamie Ayres going to go and beat Alan Toon? The lights are off and we're away. Newman's already making places further back as well. Unfortunately, Alan Toon is still in 4th place as he's dropping down the order as these cars go sweeping round turn 1 once again. Alan Toon fighting it out in 3rd currently with Arnold Chagnon, but it is Jamie Ayres with the whole shot. Pete Van Gogh making his way through the order as well. Newman is sitting at the back. He's going to start picking them off one by one like a homeless man picking out bits between his teeth. I can see it now as he is running. I don't even know where that one come from.
Right, okay. I don't know what homeless men you've been seeing. Right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is officially James Parfitt has lost the plot. I will check up with his wife to see what prescription drugs he has missed and which ones he has yet to take and what he's got stuck between his teeth because he's been on something.
Oh dear. Oh, Alan Toon's crashed. Alan Toon has crashed. Unfortunately, it looks like Tooney's been in an instant with down under here. Hunt's going to go and send it out the inside. Toon's going to try and go on a defensive. They're going to make contact. Round he goes. Unfortunately, both of them pirouetting off before Moss Corner.
The one time he actually defends, it's gone bad for him. That is so dreadful. It's 3 wide into turn number 1. Tom Griffiths trying to work his way through with Ewan Bramer. This fight continues. Oh my words, just picked straight through. Jason Haddington, PVG, is on a charge towards the front. Don't know why I didn't pick PVG, I'll be honest. Yeah, he's up there and he's now knocking on the door of Roger Morton and Arnaud Chagnon. Jamie Ayres, though, is in dangerous territory because he's already broken clear of a second and is running some pretty decent pace out in front. This is, well, yeah, cool. I think I'm going to have to submit defeat on this one.
Right, Miles Owens battling it down like for 10th place. He's trying to go on the inside of Benison round turn 2. He does, and jumps are good, and it's all good for him there as well. And he is now up into 10th. I'll come out of this, and my missus will be like, a homeless man picking his teeth. What were you on? I mean, I have no idea. Oh, Haddington's off. He's coming back into track. Oh. Manages to hold it, but poor old Jason Hannington, that was a big old sideways sweep. Pete Van Gaal sweeping past Arnold Chagnon, and PVG is now up into third place here as well. Alan Toon is in the pits, Zachary.
Yeah, well,
what are you expecting him to do now?
Teleport. He's Sir Alan Toon. He's got superpowers. He can do anything. Don't take the mick out of his 688 I rating. He is going to fly to the front, and he is going to do a brilliant job. This is side by side. This is Tom Griffiths versus Steve Hefford. Where have we seen this before? Going side by side through one of the final couple of corners, as Steve Hefford this time is able to hang on to it. Tom Griffiths continues on the fight. Ian Bramer and Miles Owens just in behind for SOB Racing. Brilliant battles going on, it must be said. This top 5 fight is sensational. PVG though, quickest of the bunch with the fast lap. Miles Owens then knocks that out of the park with a 32.9. On to lap 3 with about 11.5 minutes left to go of the final race of the evening. Still a lot to play for, particularly PVG fighting his way towards the front of the field. That fight for second, Roger Morton is hanging on in the balance. How much longer can he keep the Momo car at bay?
Pro versus AM here as well. Morton is leading the AMs currently at the moment with PVG. They're heading round turn 3. PVG went to sweep round the outside, didn't make it through this time. Here he goes again. He's going to try up the inside of 4. They're going to plummet down into the corner. They go. There they are once more. How is this one going to pan out when the camera turns? Oh!
What's happened here then?
Well, Morton went for a rocket.
Oh, in a bit.
Light bit of contact with PVG, and that sent Roger Morton off. Unfortunately, there goes Mr. Hedgecock's. Dan Hunt was caught earlier on as well, so there goes Phil across the ponds. And Zach's went all at the same time. So I've got the survivor currently at the moment who's doing an absolutely stellar job. He's 3.1 seconds ahead. Absolutely flying, and at the moment we've got a Momo 1, 2, 3 with Ayres, PVG, Hefford all behind him. Then we've got the AM with Chagnon, Griffiths and Bramer. Can Chagnon stay there? Ayres just goes out and puts the fastest lap on the race on a 1:32.782. Is this going to be the first victory of the evening? Am I going to go into this 1-0 up, young Zach? What do we think?
Don't get too confident just yet, Mr. James Parfitt. Let's still see out the rest of the race, because PVG on that last lap, I mean, yeah, he was about a second off, but don't count him out. He had to get past a couple of drivers. He's not now into second place, and, well, if he keeps making mistakes like that, I've got no hope. PVG, oh my word, with the save of the century. How is he hung on to that? Steve Hefford up in the second place. PVG, get yourself into Formula Drift, mate, because, oh my goodness me, his hands were so fast. Here comes Chagnon to the inside of Moss corner. PVG is going to try and hang it around the outside to not lose any more momentum. So close to contact between the pair of them. It's going to be a case of who puts their foot to the floor first. And in all of that, it's going to be Tom Griffiths who takes it 3 wide. Who's got the momentum now down the Mario Andretti straight?
Yeah, the 3 wide. Griffiths is in the middle. Chagnon is in the middle. He's been split by the Ivan Bramer as well, and we go once more. Griffith is going to go. He's got nowhere to go. Bramer's come over. He could have blocked him in. Bramer, you can move closer. I'm surprised you're not like literally hugging the side of Tom Griffiths. As PVG makes it through, Bramer's going to sweep round the outside of Griffiths now. Through turn 8 they go. Through turn 9, it's Bramer out in front, gets the nose over Griffiths, and job done for Ewan Bramer there as well. And he is through and now sitting in currently 4th place. I want to point out that Steve Hefford is up 11 places here, and so is Ewan Bramer. So stellar job from him. Miles Owens is just overtaken Arnold Chagnon. So Chagnon is still leading the AM class, but is now, what is he currently, 1.7 seconds ahead of Dale Bedison. Bramer's now trying to fight onto the back of PVG, the 2 Dutchmen here. At one point, I'm sure, have been called Flying Dutchmen throughout the broadcast, and are now battling it out here, Zach, for 3rd and 4th place currently.
Yeah, fantastic fight as it stands, and should be one that is going to continue for the final half of this race. Steve Hefford, quickest of anyone on the circuit at the moment. 32.1 is his best lap time. 32.5 was his last lap time. So we'll wait and see as to if/when he can catch up to Jamie Ayres. But what remains to be seen. The fight we're most interested in is this fight for 3rd, and it goes all the way back to Arnaud Chenyonier in 7th. Beautiful racing between everyone, the slipstream keeping everyone nice and tucked up together. Ewan Bramer versus his countryman Tom Griffiths in the background as well. The long run in towards the 3rd to last corner. Pulls out late to the left-hand side. PVG not giving him an inch at all. Just about a car's whip if they won their way through the right-hander. Ewan Bramer has been no stranger to try and send them the move to the outside, but PVG hangs on. Does the space open up? He thinks about it. No way through for Ewan Bramer.
No, he's still battling out, but he is going to try and lose that place to Tom Griffiths. Griffiths has got the run out of the final corner. Is he going to be able to get him as well down into turn 1? They are side by side. Bramer on the white and black. Griffiths on the left on the blue. He does. Griffiths got a better exit. The thing is with that one is he took the line that Steve Hefford tried to take at the last lap of the last race, and it didn't work out for Steve Hefford so well, but it worked out for Griffiths there, and he got over Bramer and he got the inside line on that run down to turn 1 as well, and there was just no physical way of where Bramer could go. He had the outside line. Griffiths was always going to open up that steering and block him off there, and well, he did an absolutely stellar job. And now Tom Griffiths is up 10 places into 4th at the moment. He's trying to get onto the back of PVG, while Hefford is still trying to climb onto the back of Ayres. Ayres has still got 3.2 seconds at the moment. Dale Benison battling away with Darrell Wright for the AM in 2nd place here, with Chenyonier who's further up the road, of course. But there's battles here in these front packs, in the next middle pack as well. Out at the moment is Toon, Haddington, Barry and McLean. Newman is in the pits, unfortunately, for him as well. Oh no, that was... Did he do that on his own? That's Daniel Lewis he's battling away with. What happened to Pete Newman? Oh, he hit the grass.
Oh no. Oh no. Has he hit the barrier as well? Oh, doink. Yep, a little bit of a tap. He's lost his front bumper. Good way to keep the engine cool. Not great for overall performance. Here's Dale Benison. He's fighting along with Darrell Wright. This was 2nd place in the AMS. And this is for 4th place in the pros. Tom Griffiths under pressure from Ewan Bramer and Miles Owens. A bit of a breakaway up to PVG for 3rd place. He's fighting with Steve Hefford over 2nd. As Jamie S still leads the way by about 3 seconds ahead of the rest. Now on that run in towards turn number 2. And who's going to come out on top? Double braking there for Miles Owens, trying to push the limits as much as possible and not run into the back of his teammate, of course, as well. That does help ever so slightly. Into the final 5 minutes of the evening. Jamie has been doing a sensational job out in front. Cannot fault this drive at all. Steve Hefford, Tom Griffiths, Ewan Bramer, all up 11 places, and then 2 10 places apiece for those 3, all sharing some phenomenal stories. But yeah, well, Pete Newman, the potential has been there, and he has very clearly been the driver of the night. He's just not had the results to show it.
No, W.L. Lewis has also made a mistake. Unfortunately, he's just put himself into the pits as well. PVG is now tucked up right beside Steve Hefford. Hefford is there. Hefford's going to disappear out of our picture. We're going to flick on to Hefford. We're going to see PVG on the left-hand side. Hefford's going to take it in deep into turn 1. They're on their way to turn 8, sorry. As they run up the Mario Andretti, there was a slight little bit of a contact there. And PVG, Hefford shakes his head in disbelief in that car. And PVG did take that position away. And now PVG is going to try and get hold of Jamie Ayres with little under 4 minutes. He's only going to have about 3.5 laps remaining here. Can he get this job done? Can he stop Jamie Ayres taking that victory? Ewan Bramer, can he prevent Tom Griffiths from getting that 4th place? Well, it is all up and here and open for the taking as we go near into the last 3.5 minutes. PVG and Steve Hefford battling away with 2nd and 3rd. I left the Adam Hedgecock has just come back with boo once Roger Morton went flying off circuit. So there we go.
Yeah, well, I think apart from James, we've all had a bit of a blunder in terms of who we've gone for as picks.
Well, you did. You did.
I did. Roger Morton down in P12.
Yep.
Who did Phil go? Phil went for Dan Hunt, who at the moment is in P11. So even he's not been having the best of nights.
Where's your pick?
He... P1? Yep. He's in P0. Alan Toon, yeah.
Yeah. What, 0 was his pit number, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you did put it out there. You went for it. I suppose you gave it your all. You picked your 200 to 1 outside of the National, and, you know, unfortunately for him, he ended up in the pits and has now only got 2 legs. So they've stopped calling him tripod. and now just unfortunately for him, they've had to put him down.
Yeah. Have it been known that Sir Alan Toon is not a tripod, ladies and gentlemen. He is only a two-legged donkey, and unfortunately is in P16 in this race. Only on the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel. You don't get this stuff anywhere else.
No, you definitely wouldn't here as well. I'm not, I don't know. I mean, the heat's
You've got homeless men picking stuff out of their teeth. You've got Sir Alan Toon confirming himself as not a tripod, and you've got James Parfitt jacked up on God knows what.
Mate, I'm under heat stroke. I think that's the problem. I think it's just too hot where I am around my stuff in my little room. I've got no windows, mind you. I'm tucked up in the corner of the living room. I've got like an L-shaped living room, and I'm shoved in the L, the furthest away from the windows. And I am literally sweating out here. I think I've just got a heat stroke. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it as Jamie Ayres comes around now. Once more, he's going to be taking the white flag lap. Is Hefford going to be able to get PVG? Is Bramer going to be able to get Griffiths? They've been fighting all the way through the race for the last 7 or 8 laps here, and let's see how it pans out. Ayres just basically opened up the power of that MX5, and he just took the power away, and he sped off and got away from all of the trouble here as well. Bramer's now running up beside Griffiths. Take the inside, take the inside, take the inside. No, Griffiths shuts the door and said, nope, not this time, thank you very much. And unfortunately for Ewan Bramer, he is still where he is in 5th place. Well, that tells me I will never pick anyone for racing wins, as that proves to me I must be a curse. Oh, look at Alan Toon. Look what Zach did to him. Lee Shaw's is running, Phil. Alan Toon's in the pits.
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm waiting for some.
I haven't got anything. I haven't got anything, mate. I am not the Buddha. I can't enlighten you, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it was a stab in the dark. Just imagine though. Imagine if he did win.
Oh, mate.
How much of a hero would I have looked like? Right.
Yeah, I would have said that. Bramer's just swept past Griffiths, and Griffiths has now got Owens, who's going to do the same up into Moss there as well. Owens takes a massive dose of curb, mind you, manages to get the job done over him. You would have looked like an absolute hero, and it would have been another shot on the that goes on the JPB intro video, wouldn't it, along with Mick Barry. Can you imagine that one coming out at the end of that? It was Alan Toon sweep through, but Tom Griffiths is trying to sweep past the disappearing Miles Owens. He's on the left-hand side. Griffiths is on the left. We'll keep an eye on Jamie Ayres. He's coming into turn 8. He's a second. Oh, Jamie, get on with it, son. There as well. Griffiths is going to try and sweep round the outside now of Miles Owens. Is he going to be able to make it through? Jamie Ayres coming round the final couple of corners. He's got the right-hander to go. Is Jamie Ayres going to take this victory? Is it going to be a victory for me this evening? Ayres goes down to the line. Jamie Ayres takes the victory. A Momo 1, 2, 3. Bramer hangs on. Griffiths hangs on from Owens. Chagnon is going to come across the line and take the AM victory. Stellar job from Chagnon. Wright is in 2nd place. Benison takes 3rd there in the AMs. But what an absolutely stellar evening of racing. I did already. I'd like to point out, I wrote the names down a long while ago of the top 2 of the pros, and I just put Ayres and PVG, and it was as it was there. So don't want to be doing that. And John Sylvester will be the final man finishing on the race here as well. But that sends me 1-0 up, Zach. Right.
Yeah.
Do you want to write these names down just so you don't think I'm fiddling the scores? Or have you got them written down of who we picked out throughout the evening?
Race 1, I went for Jamie Ayres.
I went for PVG.
You went for PVG. Race 2, I went for Newman. You went for Sylvester. Race 3, I went for Newman, and you went for
Hefford.
Race 4, I went for Sarah Linton, and you went for Jamie Ayres.
Yeah, now how are we going to work the scoring up? Because I've got currently 1, 2, 3, 4 different runners here.
Yeah.
So what, you want me to add up all 4 of them drivers?
Yeah, so however many points they scored in that race, add them up.
That race or throughout the whole evening?
That race, yeah.
How am I going to do that? There's not even a stat sheet that covers that.
Well, you look at where they finished. and then you look at the
What about if
system.
we take their overall race for the round and then we divide it by 4
to get their average?
to get
All
their
right.
average? How about that?
I can live with that. Yeah.
All right. Right. Let's see the results of the final round of this evening here for the UK Sim Racers MX5 round 1 from Motorsport, and it gives me great pleasure in telling you that it was Jamie Ayres for the win. A PVG in second, Steve Hefford third, Ewan Bramer fourth, Tom Griffiths fifth, Miles Owen sixth, and then it was Arnold Chagnon who took the final victory in the AMS. Darrell Wright second there as well. Daniel Hunt in ninth, Dale Bennison 10th, Andy Littler 11th, Roger Morton 12th, John Sylvester 13th, Dan Lewis 14th, Pete Newman down in 15th. Jason Addington 16th, Mick Barry and Sir Alan Toon. And then beyond that, you have got Darren McLean in 19th place there, Zach. Well, that was exciting.
It was exciting. Yeah. As much as race 4 was disappointing, for me as a prediction anyway. Yeah. I think all 4 races had the action. They delivered on all fronts, and it was a great way to introduce the new season. The back end of season 1 was fantastic. The entirety of season 1 was fantastic. And I said, yeah, I mean, Phil Cummins joined us for the SimRacer for Simpletons last week on Tuesday when we had the break week. And he was missing the MX5s, and he was like, hang on, are we meant to have MX5s? And I did miss it through the off week. It was like, it was a Tuesday. It felt wrong to not have some MX5 action on our screens. And I'm glad they're back, and I'm glad we're in for the next 3 months and 44 races worth of action.
Yeah, we definitely have here as well. And what we will do is we'll bring you up the schedule here. Motorsport, Okayama, Long Beach, Interlagos, Suzuka, Snetterton, Jerez, Sebring, Watkins Glen, Magny-Cours, Mid-Ohio, and then rounded out the season off at Spa-Francorchamps there as well. Did Roger crash a lot? Not a lot. He did have a third place in race 1 for the AMS. So, fair play to him. He did have an incident with Mick Barry as well, mind you, so, you know. But there we go. Right. That is going to bring us to the end of the broadcast here, guys, as well. Thank you so much to Phil and Adam Hedgecott for keeping the chat going here as well. Puck was in there as well, I think, as well. I'm sorry, Puck, I did miss you earlier on. But thank you so much. Toxic Munchkin jumping in as well. It's been an interesting evening of racing, and one that I think, well, I need to go out and get some fresh air now because I think the heat has got to me here as well. But Zach, it's been a pleasure as it always is, young sir. Thank you so much for joining me.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I guess you're all right as well. Nah, it's always a pleasure alongside you in the commentary booth, and well, I'm looking forward to spending it for the next season of these brilliant drivers in these brilliant cars at the brilliant combinations that we've got, particularly round 6.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that one. I believe that's probably Snetterton, if I know Zach, which I probably do. But there we go, guys. That rounds out tonight racing. Thank you so much for joining us on this evening here as well. And from myself, James Parfitt, and Zach Sweeney up in the booth, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.